looks like... Oh, just adjusting my shit. Alright, looks like we're on here. Welcome back. This is now part 2, the second live stream playthrough I'll be doing on Red Dead Redemption 2. This is a playthrough series that I just started, hence part 2. Haven't gotten too far in, like a couple hours in, but this is a narrative analysis and commentary playthrough, which basically means that I'm going to be talking about the kind of story of the game in terms of its plot, its characters, what positions they represent in the narrative symbolically, how that relates to culture at large, how that relates to social, the social relates to people, right? And this is largely in part kind of research that I'll be doing on this game as I'm writing a paper that dissects kind of, what I just explained, the kind of narrative of Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, and compares it to the Western genre at large, and talks about how it acts and kind of perpetuates the genre, which on the one hand seems obvious enough, right? Like, it's a Western game. It's very much like geared that way. Both the first and second ones. That's not really a secret, and that's fine. But so obviously, like, if it's intentionally a Western, it follows a similar formula to other Westerns, right? And being 2018 when it came out, right? I think, was it like something a little more than 10 years after the first one? I can't remember right now when the first one came out, but it was not that, or it was a little bit ago. Anyway, but basically talking about how the Western kind of is able to really be popular. If you think about how large the Western genre as a whole is, it's been around for a while, and how does it keep kind of being able to come back and serve or reinvigorate its narrative and its plot, especially amongst like the setting. Like, what is it about the setting that makes the Western a little bit more a little bit different than other kind of narratives that might be set in contemporary times or even in other historical settings, right? There's the whole fact of this game and what we're dealing with, which is pretty much, Western expansion and things like that. Sorry, it's PS4. Yeah. PS4 is kind of loud. It's like a airplane. But anyway, so the Western genre just has part of its backdrop, right, is this historical time. It's taking place at the moment of westward expansion in the United States. And with that is, this idea of the wilderness is being kind of turned into civil space, and is, being societies kind of being constructed, and all of these things, which leads to ways of life being, changed, and like their way of life is, becoming threatened because of the because of the expansion that's happening. So, it seems kind of obvious maybe, but I think it's a key component of the Western genre that is interesting because if the solutions to these problems, or if even the problems themselves, stayed the same over time, um, you know, it would obviously not be able to kind of remain very new, right? And come on, how do I go again? Okay, there we go. So we look at the Western and the broader historical sense. You know, kind of what the narratives are responding to at the moments that that they're coming out in, that they're being made in. What does the plot, what is the plot saying, kind of as a whole, and what are these characters? How do they solve their problems, and how do they find out about them? Do you want to overwrite? Yeah, sure do. Yeah. So how do the characters solve their problems? Because one of the things that's been pretty interesting to me so far is... Morning. Oh, there's a train going by. Nice. One of the things that's been interesting to me so far is, the kind of just like the dynamics of this gang and the dynamics of the characters that they're fleshing out. As kind of Arthur says earlier on, like we're...
Just be wandering around here, friend.
Oh yeah, you think so?
Right.
Whoops. Sorry, dude. Oh no. Well, I didn't necessarily do anything wrong, so hopefully I'm okay there. Oh, uh-oh. Are they gonna... Alright, well, I guess I gotta do something, huh? Alright, cool. But yeah, one of the interesting things to me is that Arthur and, Dutch and all these gang members and John Marston, all of them, Arthur Morgan says that, like, like we're all bad, we're bad guys, but, something, they save the person anyway or something like that. But basically what happens is, like Dutch even acts, he saves like this woman earlier on when they're in the snow and they find this cabin to go in and find, get supplies and stuff like that. She's been attacked and whatnot. So anyway, it basically just, gives, their characters a little bit more moral, room, this kind of moral flexibility, because they're bad guys, they're outlaws, they break the law, that's how they make their living, they kill people, they're murderers, like all of this kind of stuff is true, but they also have like a moral high ground. They have, certain things they're not willing to do, or they, they have a conscience basically, and they're not just killers, and they're not just petty thieves, right? They kind of have standards and morals to who they will rob, which seems to be rich corporate people who are connected again to that idea of a certain way of life becoming extinct, and them not being able to kind of survive, essentially. So what's this guy doing? I don't know where the submission is. I came over here and it looks like I can't do it yet, but I don't know why that is. It's got this little lock on there. Let's see. Why? Oh, Swanson found something down at the train station by the lake. Did he find something at the train station or by the lake? That's kind of confusing, isn't it? Hosea told you that Swanson found something down at the train station by the lake. Oh, okay. No. Or is it... Oh, no. Ooh, what's that? That's something. Is that just me, or is that kind of confusing? Is it at the train station or at the lake? Well, I don't know why it is like locked, but maybe because those guys tried to kill me. Just want to get a mission going. I'm not sure how much extra stuff I'll do. I'll see how it goes. I'm not in any kind of hurry necessarily, but I am kind of just interested in the story and how it goes. I guess like the little other plots are part of that too, you know, which is why I'll probably go ahead and do that. But I don't know, as far as getting deeper into the game beyond that, I don't really get super deep into things. A lot of times if I get stuck, I'll just like quit. So hopefully that doesn't happen here, but we'll see. We'll see. Alright, so there's a dead dude here. Stranger. I'm gonna loot this fool, because I don't know.
Whoa! I thought you was already gone! Tell her I never stopped.
Oh. Oh, god damn it. It's gonna make me read this. Dear Miss Mac something, Fees Lane, I don't know. I'm sorry, I tried it in something, you're right. I do let things get out of control in my head. I always have. I see that, but I love you. We are meant to be together. It is our destiny. I know it. I saw us in a dream having kids. Oh my god. Raising kids. Jesus Christ. You were happy as any wife, and by your husband dreams don't... Yeah, I can't read this. I'm sorry. Just kind of off to make a fortune. Oh, okay, so I'm heading off to make a fortune, and when I come back a rich man, you'll see what a fine husband I will make you, and father to our children. And no, I won't grow something up, old, I don't know. On that subject, you're wrong. I've got, so I don't really care. Alright, dude, that was pretty pathetic, not gonna lie. But that's okay. I only came down here because I thought maybe that mission led here. I don't know why that was marked on the map, but I suppose I'll just go do a different one. But I'll pass by the train station one more time. This is nice. Wow, this is like huge lake. Oh, look, canoes. That's nice. Rowboats or whatever. Oh, there's a lot of shit out there too. Wow. How pretty. These beautiful wild horses. Magical.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely do a good job of creating a kind of like landscape, almost like a, you know, that kind of landscape painting, or that, you know, landscape photography and that kind of thing of the American West. I mean, a game is just a, you know, another media like that, so it's an interesting interesting take on it. I think it's well done though. I like the environment a lot. It's obviously much different than Red Dead 1, although I love Red Dead 1. Alright, let's see if I can get in there now. Maybe it wasn't home. Maybe he just wasn't home. Oh! Reverend Swanson, bro.
You hear, Reverend?
I'm trying to...
Don't need to fire that gun, you really don't.
I'm sorry, dude. I don't know what I'm
You
doing.
best go find a teeth to suck
Swanson,
on.
you hear me? Reverend! Swanson!
Just gonna
Swanson, you in here?
just gonna be yelling at him the whole time.
Reverend, where are you?
Antagonize. Do I have to aim my weapon? Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to do that! No! That's stupid.
Mr. Morgan.
Oh, hey, where'd he go? Is that the dude I need to go talk to? Alright, I'm not doing very well on the story. Sorry about that, y'all. Where are you going, dude? Alright, maybe I should restart. Load game, because that was a little ridiculous. I'm still getting used to the controls. Don't judge me. Alright, yeah. Yeah, I don't want to save that. And I, like, accidentally, like, ran into those guys and they started chasing me. I mean, they're even directly referencing photography too with these loading screens. They're, you know, making it look like wet plate photography. Which is interesting too, because I just learned that I was reading a book about landscape photography in the American West, and it was talking about how the time of like westward expansion was kind of came at a time when photography was actually, you know, a bunch of advancements were being made, right? Because when photography was first invented, there was mainly what was called daguerreotypes, and they were just limited to very small, like, you know, little tiny pictures. I think they were on like a metal plating, but, you know, they had, you know, you couldn't reproduce them basically. And wait, I'm gonna try and do the Reverend one. Actually, I'm gonna go back. But you know, so it was just not very good for, you know, putting it. I mean, they were kind of keepsakes, and people would like send them to loved ones and kind of shit like that. But they weren't as good as, you know, for archiving and for record keeping and stuff like that. You know, and then hence wet plate photography came out, and they basically could make negatives on glass plates, and then reprint them on paper, which is like a lot cheaper and easier to do than. Why isn't it? Come on, dude. I'm trying to call this guy. It's not working. So, wet plate photography could, you know, could be bigger, could be more detailed, and just was by virtue of its medium was just more detailed than daguerreotypes. So, really shaped how the West was viewed in
Mr.
picture.
Morgan, I took your advice, sir. I took your advice.
Then your god has finally deserted you. What you talking about?
I
Who
took
is
your
not without
advice,
sin?
sir. I have removed myself from Morpheus's embrace. No more shall I sink, sir. I am free. I am free.
You don't seem free, friend. You seem drunk.
Sit down, Reverend. We ain't finished.
You ain't finished. Look at him. He's finished.
None of us forced liquor down his throat, friend. I just want him to play.
Now, firstly, we ain't friends. Don't make no mistake on that subject. Now, secondly, he can't hardly see, let alone reason. Now, reasoning ain't never been one of my strong points neither, but seeing I do just fine. You want to step outside or deal with business here?
I just want him to finish the game.
Why can't we all just get along? These are good men, Arthur. They're children of God. They're children of God.
How's about you playing this place, huh? That seems fair?
Fair?
Sure. You want a game?
I don't really want to, honestly.
I can't, partners. I don't mean to spoil your fun. I got things to do.
You sure?
Quite sure. I gotta get him out of here. Come on, Reverend, let's get you home. Where'd he go?
He just
I
walked
don't
out.
know. I was talking to you.
Gentlemen.
Reverend! Reverend Swanson!
How did you not?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. You see a drunken idiot, a priest, wandering about?
Sure, we saw him, smelt him, and avoided him. He went that way, I think.
Thanks.
Guy looked kind of crazy, mister.
Well, you have no idea.
One thing I don't really care for, but I appreciate the, you know, realism. It's how goddamn slow this dude walks. I guess I could just do that.
Boy.
Man, he walks slow.
Get your hands off him.
Say a word. You'll keep. You stay.
Oh, whoops.
You stay out. I'll
Get
kill you
your
both.
Oh shit. Man, I'm really gonna fuck up. I forget how to
hands off him now.
Come on.
forgot how to punch. Oh man, this guy's fucking good. I shot him, he should be a little more, you know, screwed up than that.
Oh my God! Killed him. I'm gonna keep the law on you.
Oh dude, do I gotta go kill that guy too?
Hey, you! Get back here!
I can't keep track of this hat if it keeps falling off, you know what I mean? Dude, I'm gonna fuck you up. You ain't telling nobody.
I said stop, damn it!
Okay, okay. Please don't hurt me.
You tell anyone what you saw back there? You're a dead man. You understand me?
Yep. I won't tell a soul. I promise.
I'm gonna trust that he's telling the truth because I'm trying to be a good guy,
Reverend!
you know.
Get off the damn tracks! What are you doing?
It's probably gonna fall off.
Come on, my friend! It's just a simple mistake. You can still be saved.
I bet there's gonna be like a train gonna come. It's just gonna be like stand by me. I'm gonna have to jump off. Come on, you dumbass. God damn it.
What have you done with your foot?
It appears to like this place and wants to stay.
Get your foot out of here! Twist your leg, you drunken bastard! Help! Help me, or we're both dead!
Oh no, we're gonna die! We just got hit by a train. Retry checkpoint. Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, sorry, I'm not the best with game stuff. You know, I like playing them, but they don't like me playing them. And I'm kind of just, you know, also kind of eager just to get to the narrative stuff, but, you know,
Done with your foot!
I'll play along. Alright, okay, go on.
Wants to stay.
Get your foot out of here! Twist your leg, you drunken bastard! Got it! Come on!
Beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
Oh no, you don't! What the hell is wrong with you?
What the hell is wrong with you? Throwing me off a bridge like
There
that?
was a goddamn train, you crazy bastard!
Have I been bad again, Mr. Morgan? I'm sorry. I wish I was different.
Let's get you home.
Home. Yeah, that's a wonderful idea. I could have tea with Margaret.
Margaret, who's Margaret?
But
Oh boy. So this guy's just drunk and
wonderful.
gotta put him on my horse.
Tea, please.
And the mission little thumbnail thing looked a lot more exciting than what it is. Looked like very noir. It's like, oh, secret. It's a guy on the tracks and you don't know who it is. But mission kind of sucks. That's okay. That's alright. Get through it.
Hey, shut it back there.
And I'm curious how, like, compared to Red Dead Redemption 1, how populated the game is, because obviously it seems like a lot more populated, at least in terms of, like, you know, being people around fucking everywhere, running into them on the road and whatnot. I don't know if that happened quite as much in Red Dead Redemption 1. And therefore, I mean, that's... So what I haven't mentioned in this video, I don't think, is that the essay that I'm writing about, or that I wrote about Red Dead Redemption, made a video essay about it, that's on my channel, and that was basically kind of about the kind of historical times that each game takes place in, where the first one takes place in like 1911 in, you know, the Mexican-American borderlands, where this one takes place 10 years prior, 11 years prior, something like that, in the more north, Midwest, you know, western type of area, because I heard you go to like Yosemite, right? So it's believable, you know, that it kind of, you know, maybe even the northern section is, you know, kind of Wyoming, Canada, or, you know, even up to Canada. I don't know, but that's what this one seems like. Anyway, the point is that
You better sleep your way
how
to
much more
salvation, my
advanced
friend.
this one comes off of.
What
Probably
happened?
because it's new, but
Usual.
Poor bastard.
anyway,
Exactly.
watch this.
Well, thank you, Mr. Morgan. I'll keep an eye on him.
He was lucky this time. Real lucky.
Yeah, he was, because I almost killed him. Alright, let's go do different mission. But yeah, so it was kind of interesting to me how the newer game that's positioned older seems more advanced than the older game that was positioned in the future. I'm gonna go talk to that dude.
Hello,
My friend, right?
Feels like we're back on track, more or less.
Yep, money and food. Now everyone needs to keep it coming.
For sure. Anyway, I won't disturb you.
Okay, Arthur.
Talk to me.
How are you, Mr. Morgan?
I'm fine.
You okay? Putting the world to rights there?
Trying to, Mr. Morgan.
Great conversation. Great conversation. Actually,
Come on.
I'm gonna be changing my settings actually real quick. Just give me 1 second. And take my headphones off audio. Okay. Alright, let's see here. Oh, there's stuff I can do in town too. Or right here. Yeah, I'll just do something like that. Oh, see ya. Didn't I just like talk to that fool too? Oh, it's a different guy.
Hey, Arthur,
Jose,
you want to go hunting?
Oh,
what are you,
not
hunting?
really.
An elephant?
I
Kinda
wish.
said I was.
No, I saw a huge bear. One of the biggest I ever saw. I reckon nearly 1,000 pounds.
A bear?
God. Look, you need me to come with you.
Of course. Let's go.
Where are we heading exactly?
Up near the Dakota River. Might take a day or two.
I could do with a break from this place.
Oh, me too. It's been a rough couple of weeks. You need anything?
I don't think so. I got all I need.
Let's go then. So you still ain't replaced Boadicea?
Nah, I miss her. She was quite a horse. This one's okay, but ain't no Boadicea.
I've been meaning to offload this big Shire horse for a while now. Unruly bastard.
Where'd you get her?
Some big, loudmouth bastard tried to rob me. Was out riding, so I... Well, you know how it is.
I see.
Let's take him to Valentine. It's on the way, sorta. There's a decent dealer there. We'll unload him, you can buy yourself a new horse. Put your saddle on them, let's get going.
Okay.
Okie
I do
doke.
kinda like this horse.
You can remove your saddle from a horse and transfer to it and make another
And
horse.
the stable's
Oh, he
always
wants
the
me to...
best ones.
How do I do that?
Right.
This is gonna be fun, Arthur.
You won't throw me?
It's pretty cool.
Oh, he's
I like
an
that.
angel, if I'm near him.
Nasty little look.
Yeah, there's no
in
doubt
his
that they
eyes.
make,
Oh, don't be
It,
rude about this
immersive.
magnificent creature.
you know, kind of in this world and
Okay,
in
see if you
this
can get your leg over that
time
bridge.
period somewhat, right? But that's kind of like my critical
Want to mount up?
Easy, big fella.
critical perspective
Alright,
on it
let's head into
is
town.
that it's, why is my horse so much bigger than it is?
Might be gone a couple of days.
But it's that,
They got a good range of horse
you know,
tack
how
at the Valentine stable.
how it kind of talks
Some
about
beautiful saddles.
a
I
historical
used to have a
time
real
as
nice
well.
one.
Yeah, what happened to
That kind of makes us
Stolen
believe that
outside that saloon in Deer
it's
Creek.
I
actually like a
remember
look
now.
into the past,
Just
right? Like
about.
it's something historical.
That turned into a
When it is
long
really
day.
just a fiction, you know,
Yes.
that just
Remember?
appears,
Mac went crazy,
you know,
threatened
in
to kill
a
the
kind
whole
of
town.
historical setting, right?
And Davey was passed out so cold we left him there. Came back in the next day and he woke up, started right back drinking again.
I'll miss those boys.
Jenny, too. She had some spot, that girl.
It must be pretty hard on Lenny. You could tell he was sweet on her.
Well, Lenny and Jenny could never have worked.
Lenny and Jen.
That's like Arthur and Martha, or Bill and Phil.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Does feel a bit like our luck died with them, too.
Nonsense. We'll be all right. Just need some money to get back on our feet.
I hope so. You found a way to offload those Cornwall bonds yet?
Not yet. They're still very hot. Need to be done right. I have a couple of leads I'm looking into.
Very exciting
Don't let
conversation.
that big bastard get the better of you there, Arthur.
He's all right. Yeah, good boy. You're all right, boy.
Stables are just up ahead. Good. Go sell
Horse
that
does not
big
like to be
brute.
ridden, obviously.
Buy yourself a horse.
Okay.
I'm going off to the general store. Get a few things to lure that bear out with. Meet you back here in a bit.
Hey, how can I help you? I'm in the market for a new horse. Something strong and fast.
Yeah, well, you're in the right place. I got some beauties in at the moment. Yeah. And what about this one here? Yeah, you looking to sell?
I show you.
You got papers?
No. No papers.
Well, of course, that's gonna affect what I can pay. But your luck's in. I got a fella who's been looking for a decent workhorse like this for a while. We'll pay a good price. Otherwise, I can always stable him here for you. Here, take a look.
Interesting, because it's like kind of seems I mean, it's exactly like the Grand Theft Auto car, you know, car thing, driving, change your. I'll sell him. I don't want him. Later horse. My horse is so much stronger. What the fuck? Whoa. Well, I guess I have to get this shitty horse. I'm gonna name him My Horse. Sounds good. What do I get with it? horse.
All right, partner. You got yourself a deal.
Just in
and a
be
fine
whatever.
new horse.
I hope so.
Well, I don't sell anything other than good animals.
I wanted the other one.
You have my word on that.
I didn't really care about this $15 horse. I want a $150 horse, but I can't afford it right now.
Here are your papers. And on me, a new grooming brush and some treats.
Appreciate it.
All right, you treat this fella well. I know he's gonna look after you just fine.
Interesting choice. How much did you pay for
Why
that thing?
did I get rid of my other
Not
horse?
that much.
Do you not remember?
Okay,
them
well,
saying that?
with some good care, you should be able to make something of it. All right, let's get going. We got quite a ride ahead of us.
Lead the way.
My horse is so
Oh.
small.
What's this lake we're heading for?
It's called O'Creagh's Run, up in the mountains east of Cumberland Falls. I just hope I can remember how to get there.
Back into the mountains. I sure didn't figure on that.
But this time, we're doing the chasing. So how are things with you and John?
Fine.
Ain't it about time you let it go now?
It was a year, Hosea. He ditched us for a goddamn year.
I've spoken to him many times. He knows he did wrong. He just wants to put it behind him.
I'm sure he does. Running off on that kid is one thing, but there's code. He knows that. He ain't Trelawney. Dutch and you pretty much raised him.
I know. But it's done. Has been for a while now.
Nobody else would have been welcomed back that easy after that long. And you know it.
Maybe. But please don't you put that to the test.
Apologies if I'm not narrating.
Okay.
quite
I
as
think we
much.
need to head right up here.
Little stones. Spacing out a little bit. It looks like I'm going hunting
Yes.
for bear.
I remember this place. Moonstone Pond. We're going the right way.
Yes, we are. It really does. I mean, I go backpacking out in the Sierras.
That's the lake
and
there.
it
Good.
looks very similar. I
We
mean,
made it.
in some
Let's
ways,
loop around the other side.
but
Yep.
it's pretty crazy how they can get such a wide. Whoops! Keep doing that. I thought that like
Easy
what's
now.
okay R2. I always hit that wrong button. Anyway, it's pretty wild how they were able to get all this in. Like that's all playable space. And 2019. 2019. It's crazy. Well, if you leave a comment and they don't respond, I'm sorry, because I have to turn my phone off. But I should get a notification on the screen if anyone joins or comments, so not too worried about it.
Rabbit.
This is nice. I could
Maybe
just
we
like
should catch
honestly
one to
like
cook.
walk around. That's
Sure.
all.
Try and shoot one.
Maybe I'll
You
just
don't
do
want
that
to
for
use
most of the
anything
game.
too powerful on a
After.
small animal like that. Just
Finish
ruin the
the-
meat.
Finish
Best
the
thing's a
playthrough
bow
series.
or 22 caliber varmint rifle.
I have hunted rabbits before, you know.
Yes. And obliterated them with a shotgun, if I remember right.
Okay. What am I doing? Where's my like little cogwheel? Oh, we gotta go down there. like how it locks on. Oh god damn it! You know, I'm like missing. Got that rabbit. How many do I have to kill? Oh whoops! I didn't mean to let that go. Guess I'll skin that. Nice. That was easy. I'm a trapper. Didn't I kill another one over here though? Totally looked like I did. That's cool, and then you like stow it on your horse and do that whole thing. That's pretty nice. Very cool.
Come on, girl.
Very. It's like I'm really a cowboy in the Old West.
All right. Getting late. Reckon we should camp here.
Sure.
Well, then you get us set up.
What?
I'm famished.
That's pretty cool.
Cook
I
that
like
rabbit then. They're delicious
Beautiful.
on an open fire like
It is
this.
really nice. It's such a nice
Fine by
landscape.
me. You want some of this?
No, I'm fine. I don't like eating this late.
Okay. After all that.
Nice. Eating some rabbit. Yes.
All right. Well, we better get some rest. I want to be up at first light to find this monster.
It's a monster.
You
Interesting
better be
way
worth all this drama.
I'm talking about a bear, you know. Like bear, it's just scary. It's a monster. That was a weird.
Morning, Arthur. You ready?
Really weird, like.
Oh, give me a minute.
Coffee?
Sure.
There you go.
So, what's your plan?
Well, we'll see if we can track him, but we might need to lay bait to draw him out. Bears like fish, obviously, but they also have a sweet tooth. A lot of fellas
I wish they had
bait,
more
then
like Twilight.
shoot from the trees, but I prefer to hunt on the ground. More
like
dangerous.
early morning
but
lighting.
we'll have a much better chance of getting a good shot in. And if he bolts, we can start right off after him. Can you mix up this bait for me while I finish packing this up? Fish, berries. Tie it up in that rag when you're done.
Fish and
I
bears.
hope you know what you're talking
That's
about.
all bears.
I grew up in the mountains, Arthur.
Probably.
I was actually weaned on bear meat. How you getting on with that bait?
Okay.
think I got this done.
Good. Pack up and we'll get going. Pack up, Arthur, and let's get after him.
What's the name of this?
Okay.
What's the name of this?
Let's go.
Sorry, I'm curious about the name of this mission. How do I...
We'll try our luck down by the water. That's where I saw him last.
Okay.
How's that horse treating you?
So far, so good.
You know,
So I'm
I
just
was
thinking
in this
about
area with
the,
Bessie years ago.
you know, the
Really?
whole
I didn't know that.
fact that they're
I
just
imagine
going
you
hunting
still
a
miss
bear,
her.
Every day.
calling it a monster.
Did you two ever think about
That
getting out
idea
of the lot?
You know,
We did
man
briefly.
versus
You don't
nature,
remember?
yada yada.
Guess you were still young.
But
Didn't
not
last
even that
long.
it's like nature, right?
I
That it's like
drifted
a
back
monster
into it.
That's this
She understood. She knew what I was.
thing that's
I remember you not being around for a while, but
that's
things were
making
looser
like the
back
space
Truth is,
uninhabitable,
there's
or
never
you know,
really
like you
any
can't have
getting out
monsters in your
and staying
fucking
in.
backyard
It's
because
hard.
then they'd
You know that. But Bessie
keep
and I
you
made
from
it
going
work.
in your backyard.
Why?
So,
Are you thinking about getting out?
Me? No, of course not.
so I don't know. I mean,
Listen,
these
if
are
Dutch's
these like
grand
kind of
plans
subtle
work, and we can
symbolic
make
things
enough money to
that
go someplace
are
new,
pushing
really
this,
new, maybe
you
we
know,
can all
this
have a
idea
new
of
start.
progress and
Anyway, for now, let's
idea
try and
of,
chase ourselves a bear,
you know,
shall we?
kind
Let's
of
look by the
bleeding
water
out
here,
nature,
see if he's been fishing again recently.
and kind of viewing actually nature itself as being
Easy.
more what, more like
Look for
unpredictable,
tracks,
more
dung, bones,
monstrous, more
any
actually
sign of it.
violent than humans for some reason. Eventually, how the fuck do I do that? Oh. How's this?
Well, there's some paw marks here, Jose. They sure look big enough.
Good. Let's hope it's him. Can you tell which way he went?
This way. Tracks. Go into those trees. Wait a minute. Something on the ground here.
Fish.
Half-eaten fish here. Must have been left by our friend, I reckon.
Come on, see if there's anything else.
Oh,
Why are you
whoops.
shooting at thin air?
I keep doing that. Somewhere around here.
Something else on the ground, just here. There's shit here. Watch your step.
Looks real fresh. Reckon he's got to be close.
Let's keep it. Damn it. Looks like the trail ends here. We lost him?
Well,
For
and
now. A little optimism, Arthur.
Well, what do you think?
I think we Split up and each look.
Either that or we could place bait here.
That could work. Which do you think?
Use a bait, dumbass.
Let's bait here.
Fine by me. Let's leave the bag over there. By those boulders up ahead, looks like a good spot for it.
This is the worst place to be waiting for this thing.
1,000 pounds, you say?
More or less. Big scar down his face. Hey, did that bait look okay to you?
I think so. You're the expert.
Ready with your gun there?
I'm good. You okay? You seem nervous.
So do you. I'm fine. Let's just take a look at that bait.
Sure.
Did we just put it down?
Come on.
We only just said it, Jose.
I know, but we need to do this right.
What's this dude doing?
Give me a hand here. Got your knife?
The bear's just running. I mean, that thing is a
Easy.
monster.
No, it's too close. Is he gone?
That's probably why the bear has a fucked up face, because people keep shooting at it. It doesn't die.
You're fine, old man.
Of course I'm fine. Nothing. Nothing at all.
Thank you. I think. That was fun.
You know what, Arthur Morgan? I'm a little old and beaten up to be after the biggest game. You can have this.
What is it?
It's a map. A man in a bar gave it to me. Well, I stole it from him, but that's another story. He said it told him where to find some real big animals.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. You saved my life, Arthur. I think I'm going back to camp to lick my wounds. You coming, or you gonna track that monster? Well, you coming or not? I don't mind either way.
I'm coming with you.
Let's get going then.
The soundtrack also sounds somewhat inspired by, I mean, there's probably a lot of guitars like it, but Dead Man, the film by Jim Jarmusch, has a soundtrack by Neil Young that is just him on the guitar. And it's really great. If you haven't seen the film, you should.
Let's
Watch
see
it right
if
now.
Dutch gives us any crap about disappearing like that. I don't need another "we gotta be out there making money" speech.
We were just out scoping a lead. He doesn't need to know it was a big furry one. Well, thanks, Arthur. I probably owe you one.
Don't worry about it.
I need to head out to Emerald Ranch soon. Look into something.
See you later.
Exit pursued by a bruised ego. Huh. Exit pursued by a bruised. Interesting title for the mission, honestly. Alright. What does Uncle want? Or I could go to this town and meet this character. think I might see what Uncle wants real quick, and then maybe do this mission, and then call it for the night. It's been kind of a short stream, but just wanted to play a little bit today. Nothing really is, I guess, happened with the, see, I did the Reverend mission. And, damn, where did I, there we go. Ugh. Alright, let's talk, no. Let's talk to this dude.
Ow! Oh, oh! Careful not to work yourself to death there, Uncle.
White Society Valentine's.
Does it pay well? Oh, eventually. So, while the rest of us are busy stealing, killing, lying, fighting to try to survive, you get to think all day.
Yeah, it's a strange world we live in, Arthur Morgan.
Do you want to head into town? See if we can find anything out?
Sure, I got some errands to run.
Great. Go check the horses are ready.
You gonna take the old man into town? Take us too?
Well, what you got planned?
Nothing. We'll find something for y'all to do. We always do.
We're bored out of our minds. Been cooped up here for 2 weeks now. Karen's about ready to murder Grimshaw.
Well, can Miss Grimshaw spare you?
Can Miss Grimshaw spare you? What's happened to you, Arthur? 3 young, healthy women want you to take them a robbing. You're worried about house chores. Let's go.
Fair enough. You got me. Come on then.
I can't believe we're going to see civilization. Feels like weeks since we did.
Yeah, Valentine. Very embodiment of civilization. Ladies are gonna love it.
Okay then. Let's go.
All right. Out to the
Very
trees here and
embodiment
take a
of
left.
civilization. Yeah, so they've been on the run, haven't been, I guess, able to do a whole lot. So, again, they are an outlaw gang, and it's part of their running and, you know, camping out and hiding and shit from the law is, as, you know, so far, I haven't gotten super far in, but so far it's been wrapped up in, you know, the idea that they're just kind of being squeezed, squeezed of resources, and they're competing more with other gangs. The game really started out by, you know, Dutch, the other character, you know, doing this, kind of moving because of like all this like stuff that's happening. It starts with them all kind of in this transition of you know, moving to a hiding place and whatnot. So we kind of feel like, you know, in a sense, we feel in a sense that they're kind of isolated from civilization, right? And they're kind of like,
Is one of you gonna get that fella's horse?
Oh, I got lumbago. It's very serious.
no, I'm okay.
I'm sure you can handle it.
But you know, it kind of keeps all of that anxiety of, you know, of being on the run and moving and having your way of life threatened and everything like that. It isolates them from society to certain degrees. The women more than the men, because, you know, Arthur seems to
I feel bad I
do
didn't
what he
rob and
wants.
kill the bastard.
Very inspiring, Arthur.
Ugh.
Smell those sheep. Or is that Uncle?
Oh, very funny.
This looks like a decent little town.
Other people. Finally.
Look at all that snow on the mountains.
I was just
Sure
gonna
don't
say
want to be
that.
back up there.
You think we should have asked Molly to come with us?
Oh, no. Miss O'Shea is far too high and mighty now for the likes of us. Or to do any real work. She's a society lady now.
Go left here, down the main
Sheriff.
street. There's always on the right. Sure you can pick up some bounties there, Arthur.
Heaven forbid you put your head on the line.
Yeah, that's a young man's game.
Yeah, very classic. I mean, you didn't even have a scene like this
Just
in Red Dead
remember,
Redemption
keep a
1
low
necessarily.
profile.
You had like the
Well,
main
you
street and
remember
all
that,
that. You had the towns, but I feel like you
Probably
didn't have.
Park up down the end there, near the stables.
Looks weird, them walking. But I feel like you didn't have this kind of real classic,
You need something?
you know, Western town type thing. It was definitely more revisionist, you know, and it ends up at a farm mostly. And like the towns are a little bit newer too. The towns are a little bit more modern, which, you know, they weren't dirt roaded, it seemed like, or significantly. Am I in the wrong place? What the fuck? Come on. So, but again, you know, that's a strange thing to me, is that even though there wasn't like these real classic Western scenes in the last, like, you know, as far as like walking through towns, dirt, muddy road, and these new things being built, or, you know, saloons and shit like
just
that.
stay out of trouble. Don't get yourself noticed.
Right, I need to get something from
The
the store.
first
Okay,
game
well, we'll see
still,
you at the
I
general
think, to
store when
me
you're done.
seems to
Come on.
kind of come off
So
as
that's
like,
how you see yourself,
you
is
know,
it?
this kind of
Maniac.
older or
Well, in my youth, I used to be
or
known as the
more
one-shot kid. Okay.
like illicit bands, I guess. I think
I'm not
that's the
gonna
way,
ask why.
you know.
You are a sad man, Arthur Morgan. But I know you love me.
Desperately. You're my favorite parasite. No. Ringworm's my favorite parasite. You're my second favorite parasite.
Very funny.
I lied. Ringworm, then rats with the plague, then you.
Shut up. This is the place now. Come on.
Morning. So, what do you need?
Hell, a drop of whiskey for a start. You know, something to pass the time while we're waiting on the women.
Always thinking ahead, ain't you?
You're looking a bit tired there, Arthur. Why don't you pick up some coffee while we're here?
Full stock list in the catalog here on the counter. Whiskey's on the top shelf, nearest the door.
You not getting anything, Arthur?
I don't know. Maybe.
Hair tonic.
So, you're actually buying for once? Are you feeling all right?
See this? Young folk got no respect for their
Cocaine
elders
gun.
no more. What do you reckon? A
Do
lamb
not put
or
your
a sausage?
dog down.
Well, this here's a sheep town. The lamb's the best in the state.
Well, I know what the smell is.
Well, that's a ripe cheese, all right.
I could probably use some arrows.
All done.
Thank you kindly. Ah, this should do the trick.
Yep, that's fine whiskey.
That should do us. Let's go wait for them outside.
Oh, actually, I didn't know. I'm just kidding. Let me look at it again. I do want to look at clothing. Real quick. Ooh, outfits. $85, no thanks. this out. Okay, that was not exciting, but I got a new hat, so that's cool. Even though I'll probably lose it. Huh, where's the eggs? Is my stupid friend in here still?
Oh, here's to your good health, sir. And to being down here off that mountain.
Absolutely.
It's a funny world, you know. This time in my career, I pictured myself being married to an heiress.
Gentlemen, I think I got something good.
What?
I snuck into this fancy house. Acted like a servant girl. Usually works. Someone was saying her sister was taking a trip from New York or someplace. Train full of rich tourists heading to Saint Denis and then cruising off to Brazil.
Okay.
A train laden with baggage and passing through a bit of deserted country at night, as to get to the docks in time for the tides, in some place called Scarlet Meadows.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, it's right out near New Hanover. Right, it's real quiet out there.
Sounds good. Where's Tilly and Karen?
I think at the hotel. They were picking up some drunken fellas that they was gonna rob.
Why?
Seemed easy. They have been gone for quite a while.
I guess I'll go see if there's any trouble.
There's
probably
Tilly over there. That does not look ideal.
Excuse me.
You thought I wouldn't find you, Tilly?
You can go kiss a damn snake for all I care. Get off me! Get off of me!
I've been looking too long. I got you now.
Get your hands off her, friend.
Who are you?
A friend of mine.
Get off her.
Or what exactly?
You want to find out?
You're making a big mistake, Tilly Jackson.
Just get lost.
I ain't doing this with you.
Go wait with Uncle and Mary Beth. They're across the street.
Okay. Thanks, Arthur.
Uncle! Look after her. I'm gonna go see about Karen in the hotel.
Can I help you, sir?
Yep.
I'm looking for a girl who came in here earlier with a drunk fella. Mid-20s, blonde. You'd remember her.
Yeah, they're in 2B upstairs. Are you, a friend of his?
A friend of hers.
No trouble now, please.
he's all fucked up.
Hey! A friend of hers.
Get out of here, buddy. I paid.
Ain't paid to hit her, you goddamn animal. Come here!
I paid for nothing.
Talking now, huh?
Yeah, so
hell are you doing?
it's kind of interesting going from the last
Not very well.
mission
You okay?
where we killed a bear,
Fine.
where we killed an animal
Yeah.
and called it a monster,
Nothing to worry about.
and
Just
in this
the end.
instance,
But
you know, we confront this man
bastard-
acting like a
stupid
monster,
bastard was
but
boasting
we
about the
call
bank.
him like an animal.
Bank.
Sure, I know small town banks are usually a waste of time, but this is a livestock town. There's lots of cash sometimes.
Okay. Keep investigating.
I will.
Keep investigating. Yeah, I think that it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know what I think about that actually. I mean, other than what I said earlier, you know, I mean, kind of thinking about what, you know, monsters mean for being in our space and stuff like that. And what Arthur kind of, you know, again, these moral lines that he draws. So, I cannot take anything in there? Okay. You know, what kind of behavior is, like, not acceptable, right? So it's not quite like a monster, because monsters, you know, we're not, with the monster, I guess we're not, like, negotiating behavior, right?
Okay up there?
We're not accepting that it has, like, a certain behavior. We're seeing it as kind of just an innate threat. Whereas an animal has,
Thank
you
you,
know, we
Arthur.
kind of understand its
I don't much like being safe.
nature
When I
is
have to be.
partially, you know,
You okay?
Sure. He only punched me.
violent.
Arthur
and
punched him a lot
that's
harder.
why, you know, animals aren't
Hey,
evil,
who's that guy
or,
over
you
there
know,
looking at us?
ain't, you know,
Weren't you in
mean,
Blackwater a few
kinda
weeks
thing
back?
like that.
Me? No, sir. Ain't from
There's this
there.
quote
You
by, I
were.
think, like
I
Murray
definitely
Bookchin,
saw
who
you with a
says,
bunch
like,
of fellers.
Me? No.
snarling dog is
Impossible.
neither
Listen,
savage nor
buddy, come here for a minute.
I saw you.
Come here.
Come on, get.
something or another.
I don't like this. Me neither. Go get the girls home. I'm gonna go have a word with our friend.
Be careful, Arthur.
Just a word. Yeah.
Okay. I missed what he said to him.
Just born it.
Yeah, I
Get
didn't
back
really
here
catch
right
what
now.
he said. So yeah, to the... Oh my god, dude. That was embarrassing. Because I ran into a gate. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, continue to see how things are shaped here. You know, with,
Just born it.
if
Get back here right now.
you know an animal represents, you know, or kind of an animal that can be dangerous, represents kind of monstrosity and bad human behavior, kind of negative or immoral, maybe, human behavior. And of course that guy is really not that fast. But,
Yeah.
oh man.
You have to help me. Help! Someone!
Why are you telling lies about me?
No, no. I got it wrong, partner. I got it very wrong. Now please help me up.
I ain't never been in Blackwater.
Then why are you chasing me?
I've got an unfortunate face.
Yes, yes, me too. Now please pull me up. Please. I'm begging you. Just pull me up, come on. I can't. Oh, shit.
Oh, whoops, I, neither helped nor killed him. He just died when I walked over. Didn't see nothing.
Girl?
Nice.
Giddy up.
So that was cool. It's interesting. I don't really know where that guy came from, but where that plays a part in anything, but so that's their encampment, it looks like. Yeah, this is the nearest town that we'll be going in. Maybe I'll do, girlfriend's playing her stone, so maybe I'll do one more mission and then be finished for this part of the playthrough. The second part, it's not as long as the first part. I think I went for like a couple hours. I'll do a couple hours tomorrow, maybe. Depends. I gotta get some dental work done, so I don't know if I'll be wanting to talk, but we'll see. See what happens.
Good to see you again, sir.
What do I gotta see? Is he just around here somewhere? Saloon, meals.
Alright, there we go. Oh, Arthur, come here, come over here. I want you to meet our friends.
Pleased to meet you.
Well, ain't you just the toughest ticking mountain
Americans
Oh,
at
you be
rest.
quiet, Anastasia. Anyone can tell this one is a pussy cat.
Exactly, yes, he's a pussy cat. Ain't that so, Arthur?
Whatever you say. How much you cost, anyway?
Well, ain't that a nice way to talk to a lady?
Oh, I didn't know I was talking to a lady.
Excuse me.
Well, I must say, you got a fine way with the women, amigo.
Yeah, regular dandy and a charmer. Where's Bill?
Oh, man, I dread to think about it. Hey! There he is.
Watch where you're going. Take it
Are
easy,
you about to
pal.
kiss that guy or
Take it
punch
easy,
him?
huh?
Oh, and we have our answer.
He just threw a chair away. Oh shit.
You fellas are a joke! Are you joining us, Arthur?
Who are you fools, huh?
What the hell's going on down here?
I like this music. I mean, just very.
No, but you're not saying.
It really makes all the missions very cinematic. I like it a lot. Kind of like more so than I remember the other ones being. Maybe not.
Oh, he ain't getting up from that. Javier could use some help for it. Arthur, give Javier a hand over there. Tough guy.
You want some too, huh?
Come on, pretty boy.
Pretty boy? You're kidding me. Pretty boy?
Gotta keep smashing B or smashing circle. How do I even know his name?
Stop! Stop! Please! Please! I beg you, stop! Come, sir. You won the fight already. Surely that's enough.
What business is it of yours?
No business. No business, sir, but please, I beg you.
Making new friends again, I see, Arthur.
Look who we found sniffing about.
Josiah Trelawney.
The very same.
Well, I thought you'd gone to New York.
And miss all this glamour. You must be joking.
How are you?
Well, quite well indeed. I went to Blackwater looking for you gentlemen. You're not very popular there, it seems. Ah, Javier and Charles. I've missed you. And Bill looking as well as can be. Gentlemen, always a pleasure.
You're right. We ain't too popular in Blackwater.
We left a lot of money there.
And young Sean, it seems.
Sean, you found him?
Yes, I have. He's being held by some bounty hunters, trying to see how much money the government will pay them. I know he's in Blackwater, but there's talk of them moving.
Well, if we step foot in Blackwater... Well, then we're dead men for sure.
There'll be Pinkertons all over the place, but if he's alive, we gotta try.
Yeah, of course.
It's you they want, Dutch.
Always is. Charles, go find out what you can, carefully. Josiah, take Javier. Arthur, go get yourself cleaned up. Join them when you're ready.
Well, what about me?
Well, exactly. What about you?
What does that mean?
Oh, Bill, come on.
Americans at rest. Very cool. I wonder how, like, how short all these missions are gonna be. I kind of like that they're a little bit shorter, honestly. Helps with my attention. Leopold Strauss. Stranger. Let's go see who the stranger is real quick. Let's do that. But you know, so something I was thinking about that whole mission and everything is, you know, and then just kind of thinking about Arthur Morgan as a character. It's fucking, oh, X marks that. That was like the treasure there. But Arthur Morgan as a character, he you know, is really this nice person and this really understanding person. It's a very charming person. You know, I mean, he's really is a classic, you know, Western male protagonist, right? And I think his character's done really well, but it's interesting that one thing they don't really like, one thing that they do with his character, I mean, you kind of have the option as far as like how much you're willing to push Arthur, right? But he's gonna be willing to do all of it, whether or not you go there. You know, because that's kind of like your choice, right? That's why the game's a little more powerful in some ways. But I'm just on, so I can not miss it when I go in there. But so he's this character with a, you know, he has a moral compass and he has a conscience, and he's not an asshole necessarily. Yet he describes himself as a bad person because he robs, and you know, but they rob from the rich, right? They rob from corporations and stuff, and they steal, and so they break the law and they kill people. You know, presumably, mostly people who try to kill them, so in self-defense, justified, or people who deserve to be killed, again, you know, kind of justifying it. And so even despite this, though, like in the story, like with what just happened, they're in a bar. Their friend comes in, acting like an asshole, and picks a fight, and then this fight breaks out. But it's just kind of how quickly, like, they can go from, you know, I mean, all the characters in general, but especially this character who comes in so cool, like he's already sitting there at the bar, comes in all cool and takes a shot, all this and that, and how quickly that can flip, and he can just be, you know, kind of going along with this fight unquestioned because, you know, it's part of his gang that's involved in it, or something, like, you know. So there's this kind of like loyalty that he has to back up members of his gang and stuff. But also, in the, you know, I just get a sense of like that whole end scene where, you know, they're really kind of making it this very dramatic and this very like spotlit thing. They're like wrestling in the mud, you know, fighting. He's getting the shit beat out of him, but you know, he might be okay, and obviously it does come out okay and pretty much fine. But yeah, so this tendency that like Arthur Morgan's character has to be, you know, cool as a cucumber almost all the time, maybe a little angry sometimes and whatnot, but at the same time kind of always ready to, you know, display these gratuitous acts of violence, and he's always like willing to go above and beyond violence. Like, I don't know if it was necessarily like he was the only one who could have taken that guy on in the end, but he's just kind of so naturally willing to kind of put himself out there for no reason. And the thing is, you know, thinking about why, for not really any other reason other than, you know, say, you know, loyalty or something. He didn't want to, I don't know, he was, you know, defending the dudes in his crew or whatever. For some reason he had to do that by himself. I don't know. Anyhow, you get what I'm saying, I think. I hope. So, that's kind of something that's been,
The problem with the truth is you
kind of
can't make
interesting
it
to me.
up. Do you mind if I make it all up, Mr. Calloway?
Who's your friend there?
This is Jim Boy Calloway. The Jim Boy Calloway.
Who?
The noblest of men
gunslinger.
and a woman.
Fastest left-handed draw
Is that
that
what it
ever
said?
drew breath. He once killed 14 men in a fight at Lucy Hollow.
What are you waiting for?
How do you mean?
Well, I reckon right now, kill him yourself.
I don't want to kill him. I want to deify him. He's a god. I'm trying to write his biography.
And how's that going?
I think I prefer the duel. Either I'd kill him and be able to be Baltimore's finest ever gunslinger, or he'd kill me and I could be set free from ever having to speak to him again.
Well, you're starting to understand something very important.
What's that?
The joys of gunslinging. It's win-win, freedom or glory.
That's brilliant. I'm gonna write that down, if I may.
Be my guest.
What's your name?
I don't have a name.
But you are a gunslinger.
Not really.
Oh, no,
When
I lost
folks
my
who need
hat.
shooting, I try and shoot in the back. All that other stuff, it's, well, bunk.
But you fought duels.
Once upon a time, I may have.
And you ain't interested in fame.
I don't think so.
Strange. But you like fortune.
I need money, sure.
Okay. Then forgive me, mister, if I seem a little desperate. I am a little desperate. This book, I've got to make a thing of it, and, well, there's a whole list of gunfighters. Legends, every last one. Emmett Granger, Flaco Hernandez, Billy Midnight, Black Bell,
Never heard of him.
Maybe you can go and speak to them. Ask them about Calloway. Any of them get uppity, shoot them. Can't believe I just said that, but...
You want me to go and find some sad, deluded fools like him, ask if he was the greatest, and then if they get uppity, shoot him?
Does sound a lot worse than it did in my head.
How much you paying?
Well, a lot. Half the proceeds of the book, if you help me get it written.
I'll see what I can do.
Oh, get photos.
Why would I do that? The book isn't even written
and there
yet.
are notes on the back of those portraits that should lead you to him.
I'll see what I can find.
It's a Kodak brownie
I imagine
box.
we'll be stuck
That's
here
pretty
upon
cool. Did
your
you guys see
return.
that?
Here are some other flop house.
So, if you didn't know, those little Kodak brownie boxes. Oh, cool. So I can just kind of go do the mission on my own time. Go back to my camp and then go from there, or probably get off from there. But yeah, let me take a look at this thing. How do I? There's my, camera. Okay, but I don't think that they had viewfinders, so that's kind of funny, but go take some pictures. Oh. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, the brownie boxes, so this is really the kind of first, full commercial camera, the first camera that people would be using regularly like this. Hey, take this. Kodak, Eastman Kodak, created pretty much a film that I think it was done with like medium format film. I think in a lot, you can mostly still buy the stuff, honestly, but it was made with like a medium format film, and you shot it and then would send it in, and they would send you back the photographs. I think they would send you back prints, actually, and probably negatives, maybe. Yeah, so it's kind of cool that they have that in there. Where's my horse?
For Christ's sake.
I just want to like steal someone's horse. Well, then I want to have my... I really do not remember where I put my freaking horse.
That horse don't listen.
Much better than
You pay up or we keep up.
These aren't one of them.
You know, I keep thinking I found a decent girl, but as soon as we laid a bed...
Man, where was that damn horse? Well, I can't bomb with the motherfucker if I don't... Oh, didn't I, like, ride like a... That's right. I rode like a big thing. Everybody left, so I just gotta walk back? That's bullshit. I'm just gonna steal somebody's horse.
About time we went on a tear.
Go steal that horse. Ah! Can't do anything. Whoops. Sorry. Uh-oh, I'm a criminal. Oh, I bet that's where my horse is. Well, from what I've heard, when you commit crimes and shit, they remember, so I've heard it gets really frustrating, so we'll see how that goes. Got a new bounty. New handover. New bounty. Yeah, I'm just gonna head down to the camp, and then I'll be logging off for the night for this episode of the series. Wasn't a whole lot going on, but you know, there were some things introduced, just things new that I mentioned about Arthur's kind of violence. Seemed just very he's always very ready and willing to commit, you know, gratuitous acts of violence because he seemingly feels justified, and to me, interestingly, plays this role kind of in the middle of, you know, like, he's a good guy, he acts like a good guy and all this stuff, but he you know, does all this, you know, kind of fucked up shit sometimes. So, and he can kind of not just commit these acts, right, but he can just so easily go in between being a good person and it being necessary to do this stuff. There was also the hunting the bear mission where the bear was likened to a monster, which I thought was interesting because it kind of means that the bear doesn't belong in some way. And immediately following the mission that I played, a man beating this woman was referred to as an animal. So it was kind of like this, you know, an actual animal is referred to as a monster, whereas like a human that was acting monstrous, right, was called an animal. So it's these kind of things at play that that I think are happening and that symbolize this kind of you know, alteration, these kind of like inversions in society at this time in the world, these aspects of their environment that are completely changing, and making, you know, changing what is necessary to survive, I guess, more or less. But anyhow, that's gonna be it for the stream tonight. This has been the second part in my Red Dead Redemption narrative analysis and commentary series. playthrough, I guess. It's my first playthrough of the game, and I'm playing through it with some narrative analysis and commentary on the story, on the plot, on the characters, on its historical position, with all of these aspects in the game. And I'm comparing that, and I'm writing a paper, and this is kind of in the vein of like, I'm able to use this as like note taking, right? Because I haven't gotten to the part where I'm talking about Red Dead Redemption yet. But I'm talking about the game then also kind of in a comparison to the larger context of, westerns as a genre, but also kind of how it's maintained as a genre, which has to do with the historical setting it takes place in, but then kind of, almost like this, monster and animal being inverted, this way of life. It inverts history by kind of telling stories that are more interesting than what actually happened. Thus you have something like Red Dead Redemption, and so I'm interested in understanding why it's so, those, or not why it's so successful, but the aspects of it, that make it successful, because I've really enjoyed the game so far. So anyhow, so this is the second part. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or comments or anything, go ahead and leave those, and hope you enjoy, and watch next time.